Hello, everybody. How's everyone doing? I finally decided to sit in front of this camera and create this video because I've been postponing it for the last few months, actually, for the last few years. But more and more recently, I've been getting more and more kind of like a deep calling and a deep, like, knowing that I need to step up and share a little bit more publicly, a little more openly about my experiences and some information that's been coming through and some messages that want to be shared. So I am honoring that call and I'm sitting here. It took a while for me to actually do this. And the theme that I wanted to speak about today is called sacred action. This has been a theme that's been following me for the last few months, but specifically for the last few weeks. And it's been a very strong kind of reminder of, basically a call to action and a reminder to really step up and to do the work. And the main thing that shook me up and kind of like really kind of pushed me into doing the sacred action that I'm doing right now was the burning of the Amazon. There's a lot more that I would like to share about this thing that is happening right now in the planet that is still continuing to happen as I speak, but I'm going to do that in a different video. I just wanted to mention here right now that was basically the main inspiration that got me to act and to get me off of my seat and put myself in front of a camera and actually start doing the things that I've known for a long time that I needed to start doing. But I kept finding reasons, kept finding excuses, kept finding distractions that would pull me away from it. And I wanted to speak to you about it today because I think this is something relevant for everybody, whether you're already acting upon your path very strongly or whether you are in the middle of wanting to take action but not knowing where to start, or whether you're just kind of completely sitting back and petrified and not wanting to do what you came here to do, or completely ignoring the call. And the reason why I'm here is because when I saw those news about the Amazon fire being burned, it affected me at very, very deep levels, and it shook me to the core. It really is. And for weeks, I had to sit down and process it. I'm going to speak more about this because there's a lot I need to share about the downloads that I received in my own personal experience that I'm sure a lot of you have been experiencing on your own regarding to what's happening on the planet right now. And one of the main things that happened was basically sitting with this frustration of wanting to do something about what is happening in the planet and feeling tied down, feeling like there is not much that I can do. Like, my motivation was this fire, and if I could have just, if I had the option and if I had the possibility, I would have run to the Amazon and had put those fires with my own hands off, but I couldn't do that. That's not a thing. And for many nights, this last few weeks, I thought in prayer, whether I was in ceremony or meditation by myself or with other people with different plant medicines as well, praying for clarity, praying for the world, but also on how I can be part of the change that I want to see in the world. What can I actually do in order to create the shifts that I see that are so desperately needed? And one of the main things that I kept getting from my guides through meditation was, well, you need to start doing what you already know you need to do. And that was kind of like, oh, okay. Like, it was something that I knew, but something, probably an answer that I didn't fully expected. I was waiting more for like a big idea on what to go and do and how to revolt against the, corruption of the government and just something crazy like that. And instead, what I got was, well, you need to sit with yourself you do your own work as you have been doing, and get to act upon the things that you already know you need to do. And it was not necessarily what I wanted to hear. I think it would have been, I would have like taken it better if the message I would have gotten would be like, get on the next plane and go to Brazil and figure out a plan how to like put out those fires. I would have been a lot more comfortable with that, because I've known what I need to do for a really long time, and I have been slowly doing. I have been slowly putting myself in the position where I'm heading towards meeting these goals, and creating these things, and building up the projects that I know want to come through me. But if I am super honest with myself and with you, there's always been something holding me back. There's always been like this resistance to fully step into my power, which I think a lot of us have gone through that process or are going through it at the moment. But this event, what happened in the planet right now, was like a huge wake up call. It was like a huge like shaking that I just couldn't ignore this calling anymore. It affected me at a deep level that there was like no way that I could sit back and not do anything. So in a way, me stepping up and beginning to create these videos is my way to take action into a world problem where I feel I may have felt like there was not much I could do. But this is my way of empowering myself and reminding that there is something I can do. And what I can do is step up into my mission, fully embody my purpose, and fully come out and do my work. Because one of my missions here, as many of you out there light workers, is to bring light into this world. And by bringing light, I mean bringing awareness into certain things that need to be seen, that have been hiding in the darkness and the unknown, that a lot of us have chosen to ignore, or have been kind of forced to ignore based on the society that we live in, whether we're conscious of it or not. So this message of sacred action has been so powerful and so strong, because I realize there's been a lot of, sitting in prayer for the Amazon and praying for the world. And I include myself in this. I sit back and I pray and sit in ceremony for years, not only for the Amazon, but for everything that's happening in the world, and for my own evolution, and for everything. I sit back and pray. And that is an extremely important part of taking action. I'm not dismissing the power of prayer. Quite the opposite. Prayer is extremely powerful, and it's extremely needed in this moment in the planet right now from everybody. But the problem is when we rely just on prayer and kind of like become lazy, for lack of a better word, and assume that just by praying things are going to happen. And the message that I'm getting, the power of prayer is extremely powerful, because you're basically connecting your will to the will of the all. And everything that we call in, if you are all familiar with the power of manifestation, is coming to you. If you are calling in something and you really desire it from your heart, whether it's for yourself, for loved ones, or whether you're praying for the world, for a bigger cause. If you're praying and bringing that awareness and that intention from your heart, you're emanating and radiating the energy that is going to manifest that reality into the physical world. So those prayers kind of like function as radio waves that expand and reach out into the universe, and they're kind of a way of letting God know, or the universe, however you want to call that bigger source, it's kind of your way to communicate that into the universe of, hey, this is the reality that I want to live. This is the reality that I want to manifest, that my heart is desiring to see in the world, or to desiring to experience. So you can pray, and basically that is part of the process is, whether you call it prayer or you call it meditation or intention, or just bringing your focus and your awareness into what you want to see. It's one thing. And the universe is going to respond, because that's the law. It happens that you radiate energy out. The external aspects of your reality receive that information, and then they do everything that is necessary to align yourself and to align everything around you for that reality to exist. So all this synchronicities start happening around you, the energies radiate and start kind of aligning everything to match up to the reality that we are choosing to manifest. And that's part of the work. But the most important, crucial part, kind of like the last bit and piece that is going to allow you to fully step into that reality, to allow you to fully make it happen, has to do with you. Basically, you have two jobs. First, to visualize this reality, to desire with your heart, send that out into the universe through prayer, through meditation, through intention, through focus, whatever you techniques that you choose to do. Then the rest of the work doesn't really depend much on you. You just kind of have to let it go, so that the universe does its job and aligns everything for you to receive what you're asking for. But the last piece is extremely crucial, and that has to do with you. It has to do with taking sacred action. And by sacred action, what I mean is basically aligning your actions to be in full embodiment and in full synchronicity with your prayers. And I wanted to speak a little bit about the difference about regular action and sacred action, or at least what I mean when I refer about this term. Sometimes when we think about the word act, like make something happen, it's almost you take this responsibility and almost like you feel like you have the power, you have the power to force things to be the way that you want them to be. But what I'm speaking about is completely different. It's basically acting in alignment and in full surrender with the flow that the universe is lining up for you, so that ultimate result that you want to see can be manifested and you can actually reach that goal. So it's kind of this like emptiness of mind, this emptiness of feeling. It's basically fully releasing and letting go of control. It's letting go of control and falling into surrender, into full trust that what you're desiring to manifest is going to happen. And you're basically just waiting. You're waiting for the universe to signal to you all the actions and all the steps that you need to take in order to reach your destination and to reach that manifestation of what you want to see. But you still have to take those steps. The reality is not just going to happen on its own. You have to take the steps to actually see and to reach and achieve what you want to bring into your life. And where I found myself stuck is that I kept praying for certain things in my life that I wanted to see manifested. And I'm not gonna, there's been a lot of moments when I see the universe working its way into making it happen, and when it's been my time to act, I freeze and I take a step back. So I wanted to pay attention to that and see like, hey, what is this thing inside of me that is making me freeze whenever I am about to get closer to the destination that I've been praying for so long. And usually what I find is kind of my resistance to receive, or my resistance to put myself out there in different ways. Because when you're working towards something that is unknown to you towards something, even if you want it very desperately, whether it's a new job or whether it's, a new relationship or whatever it is. It's kind of scary. It's scary because it's unknown, and the stepping into the unknown and not having control of what's going to happen, or feeling like maybe your expectations are not going to meet the reality and you're going to be disillusioned, or fear of failure, whatever it is. And in my case, I've known for quite a while, been on my spiritual path for the last 10 years and doing a lot of inner work, a lot of self-healing, a lot of self-exploration, a lot of also sharing outside of myself and slowly empowering myself to put myself out there even more. I used to be extremely shy, and any kind of public speaking, any kind of whatever was just terrifying, and it would like freeze me up to the point where I couldn't even speak. My throat would close up and I would start shaking, and this is something that's been with me my entire life, and that I have taken slowly the steps one after the other to overcome, because that fear and that anxiety to be seen and to be exposed has kept me away from a lot of things that I really desired, a lot of things that were connected to my soul purpose, that were connected to kind of my mission, and the things that I know that I came here to do, and the desire for me to actually share and to see manifested the world around me that I want to see. And one of those things includes, sharing myself more openly, sharing myself and expose myself a lot more into the world, because it is scary. It is scary, and it's not an easy thing, and it takes a lot of courage to be vulnerable and to be in a space and to put yourself in a place where you are going to be seen, and be okay with the fact that you're probably going to be misunderstood, probably going to be judged by certain people. But what's keeping me strong is in the knowing that regardless of whatever negative, results I may see around me, or reactions that I may get from people, I know that the messages that I have to share are important, and that they need to reach the people that need to listen to them, whether that's one person or two, or whoever, whether it's a group of people, whether it's bigger or smaller, it doesn't matter. And everything that I can do in order to manifest the world that I want to see is share who I am. And this is not only me, this is for everyone. The biggest job that we have as human beings in this planet is to be ourselves. Because in the society that we live in, we are basically torn away and completely stripped from our true authentic selves, to the point where we lose ourselves so deeply into this illusion of who we need to be, in the restrictions that society applies on you, that in a way and in a sense we have to kind of remember who we are. We have to remember to come back into our true selves, and it's a long journey. But ultimately, the biggest gift that you can give to the world is yourself, is your heart, is who you truly are. So at the end, this is really everyone's job. Just to be who you are, to be who you fully are, and stay centered in your heart and share everything that comes strongly and fully from your heart. Share your truth. And your truth may be different to your neighbor, or maybe different to your family members, or to whoever is listening to you. But it doesn't matter. Their truth may be different, and it's completely valid. But your truth is important to you, and it's important for you to own. And that truth may change from moment to moment, and that is okay. But your responsibility as a human being, especially in this time and era in which we live, is to step up to who you are and to fully embody the self that you are, and to take sacred action by showing up in the world in the ways that only you know how to. And another piece that was coming to me this morning was, yeah, we sit a lot, in meditation. I was sitting a lot in prayer this last 2 weeks. Prayer for the Amazon, prayer for the world, rain for the world, for all the forests and all the trees that are burning all through the planet right now. Praying for the awakening of humanity, for the releasing of the pain that is being created right now. And one of the biggest things that I got was kind of like taking a really hard look on myself and hard look on my actions, and to see whether my actions were aligned with my prayers, whether my actions were fully integrated with myself and with the things that I was wanting to manifest, the things that I wanted to see in the world. So for example, I got to get really, really real with myself and see all the parts of me that were continuing to be out of alignment or continuing to be kind of dismissive of the things that I knew I need to do out of, comfortability, because doing otherwise would be inconvenient, would be uncomfortable, would take too much work, or whatever. And there were simple things that I've known I need to do, like simple acts, like for example, becoming more aware of the products that I buy and the products that I choose to ingest, whether it's dairy or whether I'm continuing to purchase things that have plastic on them and things like that, just out of the inconvenience of not wanting to go, like, the extra mile and do all the work that it would require to do other things like not buying plastic. And for example, I had this thing that happened a couple of days ago where I went to Whole Foods here at the local shop in El Paso, Texas, and I was there to get some spinach. I want to tell you the story just so you get a little bit of an idea of where I'm heading into. I tried to go and get some spinach, but I was really surprised to see that I couldn't find any loose spinach. Like, the only options that they had were the spinach that comes in a big box of plastic. And at this point, I was really shaking with the Amazon and the state of the planet. And I had just come from Tulum, where there's a lot of pollution in the oceans. So it just like brought this light and this awareness of, hey, like, the planet is screaming for change. It's screaming for us to wake up and to see what's happening and to take more responsibility of our actions. So I decided to become more responsible and more aligned with it. And I decided I'm not going to buy as much plastic anymore. The more that I can cut that off of my life, I'm going to do that. Same with meat, same with dairy, same with anything and products that may be harming the planet. So I went to Whole Foods and they didn't have the spinach, and I was just kind of really upset. I got more upset than I usually would have, because I was in the middle of processing everything that was happening in the Amazon. So I spoke to the manager and I was kind of asking him, hey, why don't you have plastic? And why don't you have spinach without plastic? And he was telling me something that was kind of eye-opening to me. He said that they tried to reduce plastic in their products, but that the demand of the town of El Paso town and the people and the customers were basically stopped buying things if they didn't come in plastic. They didn't come wrapped up in plastic. And that was just really shocking, because for me it was kind of like an understanding of where we are as a whole in society, and where I have been for a really long time. And consciously, slowly becoming things that I've known for a while, that these things are bad for the planet and everything. I would just kind of be like, oh well, but just for this time it won't hurt anyone, you know? Just becoming lazy and compliance with my actions, because it would be taking too much work. It would take me so much out of the way to try to go around it and to do the right thing, to do the thing that I know is best for the planet and for myself. So what I've been really called to do is, for myself, is to be more and more and more in alignment with my truth, with the things that I know, to align my actions with my beliefs, with my values, with my truth. And that if I'm sitting here praying for a better world, that if I'm sitting here praying for the Amazon, or for, you know, whoever, the children in the world, or if I'm praying even for myself to be more healthy, to be the best version of myself, the prayer is only going to take me so far if I don't actually take the sacred actions that are going to allow me to become my prayer. So basically, that was my message. Become and embody your prayer. Embody your prayer. Don't just wish it out there. Don't just ask for the universe to manifest it. Know that you have the power, that actually without your action, these things cannot be fully manifested. If you're praying for a better world, align every one of your actions, even to the smallest things, from the smallest to the biggest one, to actually create the world that you want to see. If you want to see change around you, with your family, with yourself, you cannot keep praying and praying for health if you're not willing to take the steps, to take the actions that are going to bring you into a better and healthier reality. So yeah, that was my message today, to encourage you and encourage myself to continue to take sacred action and to continue to be and become the embodiment of my own prayers, and to continue to shine light in myself and in others, to encourage you to continue to shine light in yourself, to continue to see and observe yourself with the most authentic truth that you can, in order to kind of push yourself to upgrade, push yourself to be better every day. Be better every day. Every day, take even the smallest or the biggest step that you can, that is, you know, is going to take you towards it. So for me today, making this video was kind of one of my own challenges that I'm making to myself, of becoming the embodiment of my prayer, becoming the embodiment and the sacred action of taking the responsibility to be the shift and to become the change that I want to see in the world, to be able to bring my little seed into the planet, however it is that it needs to be received by people. That's not my responsibility. My responsibility is to show up, take the actions that I need, and the rest is out there. It's out of my control. So thank you so much for listening. This is basically the message that I wanted to share. Thank you so much. I wish for you and everybody to continue to become more and more of the best versions of yourself, and to continue to become more and more aligned with the embodiment of the sacred prayer that you are. Namaste.